Hello y'all and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, I started a new job and it's been taking a lot of hours out of me. I haven't really had time to do these videos. Hopefully I'll be doing a few more, but it won't be in the radical pace I've been doing them in the past. Sorry about the noise, I have a neighbor who's working on his house. See what I can do about that. Well, that's a little better. Anyhow, today we're going to be talking about this knife. Artisan Cutlery EAGIE. Now, I got it off of, I think, White Mountain Knives, or that or on a drop, I don't remember which. I'll put in the prices at the end. It's a really interesting looking knife, and I'm choosing my words very carefully with it. You'll see why in a minute when in a little bit when I show you guys the testing I did with it. It's a hawkbill, even though they call it a reverse tanto. Which I guess it could be that too, as in sort of reverse tanto, but it's more of a hawkbill shape. It comes really sharp out of the box, that I do remember. I've had this one for about a year now. It's in D2 steel. Really nice knife. A deep pocket style clip. It's not really deep pocket, but it's deep pocket style. And well, let's watch the tests and see how it goes. Well, as you can see here, I'm taking this really thick can of coffee. This is thick aluminum. It's really horrible coffee, but there, and as you see, the knife is just piercing it really well. I did say that if you hold it in that funky angle, it pierces really well. Here, I'm carving a little wood with it. You know, the regular EDC survival style tasks. I gave it, just blows right through them. Here I'm doing a little notch, and it did pretty good. I mean, it's sharp knife. The curve helps it, you know, chop and slice really well. I will say that as a slicer, it worked really nice. You'll see that when I do the vegetable testing. But you know, I'm sorry about the quality, by the way. It's just a old phone that I used because, well, I didn't change to this one yet, and the camera's not really good, and my angling wasn't well. But chops half decently, cuts really nicely. Yeah, I'm going to try, I think, yeah, so this is gardening tube, which is rubber, which is like a rubber silicone mold with as is a Kevlar string in it, I believe, and it just, you know, carves it really nicely, and then here it's gonna pierce and then do can use it as a cutting tool. It just blows right through it. Here I'm cutting some vegetables for a salad, a carrot, and it cuts it really well. As I said, this is a really nice slicer. It's kind of pretty thin. I mean, not as thin as my kitchen knife, but it's a half decent. It wasn't very comfortable cutting because of the shape of the blade and the shape of the handle, but it cut that really, really well. Here I'm going to cut up some mushrooms. Mushrooms, and as you can see, it's cutting them really well also. Slicing them nicely. Going to be a nice salad for lunch. Then we have the cucumber, which is a softer, but it's an interesting vegetable. I don't want to say softer, but it cut it really nicely. At this point, it started going a little berserk, but it did cut it really okay. My hand did hurt after using it as a vegetable cutter because of the shape of the blade. It's a little hard to use it for cutting vegetables. Just cutting a tomato, really soft. I did clean the knife between both tests, but I did do both tests with it. And it did a half decent job cutting the tomatoes too. It stayed sharp. It cut it, but because of the angle it was hard. Here it's opening a box. Again, this is at work. It just blows right through it like it's not there. Opening a box is a joke, and cutting into cardboard for the fun of it. One-handed, because one hand's holding the phone. And it slices really well. Okay. Here I'm just, you know, doing some waves with it, testing if it's comfortable for self-defense. These are way more exaggerated moves than I actually would do, or even if I ever have to use a knife in combat. Reverse grip, because it does look a little bit like a karambit. It's actually kind of comfortable in the hand for it. But yeah, not a knife I would use for self-defense. So let's talk about this knife in general and what my final thoughts about it. It's not a good self-defense knife because it doesn't give you the advantages karambit give you with the ring and the extra grip if you hold it properly. It's not a good holding it in the front because your point is veering off. It's a half decent slasher, but it's not really a self-defense knife. Sure, it has more disadvantages than advantages. Would it work in a pinch? Yes. Would I choose it? No. EDC, again, because it's the Hawkbill, it's a very unconventional knife to carry for EDC for good reason. It doesn't work good for most of the applications of EDC. It is a very scary looking knife. You pull this out, it looks scary. It's a menacing looking knife, and that's about it. If you wanted just to put on a shelf or keep it in a drawer or pull out to show friends, yeah, go ahead, get it. But it's not a very useful design for most people's applications. Now, I do know Hawkbills did start off as more of agricultural knives for cutting fruit or what have you, for branch marrying, but it's too big, too bulky, too thick really for agriculture. Weighs too much for a, just secondary knife to throw on your belt when you're doing most of that. Today, most people carry those like shears, like vegetable shears or fruit shears for working at fields. So it just falls between too many rules, too many places for me to actually recommend it for buy. Is it a good knife? Is it a cool knife? Yes, it just doesn't have too many uses. It has this really cool shape to it. I mean, very ergonomic in the hand, except when you're cutting vegetables, which is not designed for it. But I really want to like this knife, and I like it. I don't carry it. I don't have a place for it. I tried EDCing it for a week, and it was one of the worst experiences with knives that I've had, like for carrying knives. I just keep going to my Swiss Army knife or my backup knife, like what is it called again? My Leatherman, the blade on the Leatherman, instead of using my main blade when I carry this. It just falls between too many rules. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this knife, and see you all on another day.